Hello, everybody. Welcome to Echo Underground. I am Shanice.
This is Mike.
And on this podcast, we talk about music, movies, and
whatever else we find interesting that day, guys. I don't know. We kind of just play it by ear and wing it. Whatever we want to, make a podcast on these days.
Basically. First off, hit us up on Twitter at Echo U Podcast and let us know if you guys see any new movies want to check out or new albums. We do take suggestions. Actually, before we get in, this podcast is going to be about the new Kanye West album called Yay. I have a question. Not a question, but before we get into it, what did we do yesterday?
We saw Adrift. Oh, I'm lying. We did,
No, what we did Friday.
Yeah, the day before yesterday. Well, we went to the TDE concert on the championship tour, and it was dope.
It was. So basically, it was J-Rock, Sir, Lance Skywalker, Kendrick, and Schoolboy Q. Mm-hmm. Did I miss anyone?
No, everyone else wasn't there.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
the only person who wasn't there
wasn't there either.
Zakari and
SZA.
SZA, she had some voice issues, so she wasn't gonna be there. I was low-key telling Mike, I was like, why can't SZA, have the problem after her concert?
Right.
But yeah, we didn't get to see SZA at all because of her voice issues. But my favorite performance, Kendrick, obviously, Schoolboy, and then J-Rock. Which is funny because that's basically the last three performers.
Yeah.
And they definitely saved the best for last. It started off shaky because, no offense, Lance Skywalker, nah, bro.
I was okay with it.
That was some horrible singing.
That
was bad. Sir, he started off too with a little bit horrible, but then after the first song, he was fine. The first song I just thought was bad. Everything after that I thought was really good. Kendrick was hype, and his set was longer.
Before we get to him too, he actually was right next to us for a second because we were in the middle aisle.
I know.
He came down to where the sound engineers were making sure everything's going right with the mics and lighting and whatnot. And the dude was a foot away from us, just signing and taking pictures and whatnot. I was like, oh, this is okay. It was great. I don't really know who he was. So I couldn't act like I wanted a picture or nothing like that. But it was dope. He was cool. He was a real cool guy about it too. Everyone who asked for a picture, he gave him a picture, gave him a dap. I think he signed one thing there, one person's shirt got signed. But it was cool. He seemed like a pretty cool dude. Came out and he was he came straight from Compton to Jiffy Lube.
He said he literally had...
Got the plane seconds ago or something like that.
Yeah, he said he was only there for 15 minutes and had to perform. So he just made it in time. And it's also crazy. So we were next to this couple, right? And the big guy next to us tried to climb over the thing. Sir and his bodyguard looked at this nigga like, what the fuck are you doing? And he was slow. He couldn't even climb over it. It was kind of funny because Sir's face was like...
Right.
What?
You come for me right now, or you just having a hard time being a big dude? What's going on here?
Yeah, he was trying to cut. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to go through the row. So, but I thought that was funny. Favorite set? What was your favorite set?
I mean, obviously I'm going to go with the Kendrick.
It's funny.
But outside of that, I give it to Schoolboy Q though, because I was really, really waiting for it. I just really want to hear "Man of the Year." That song stuck in my head since I first heard it, and it lit the place up. The whole place damn near turned upside down.
I like Studio better, but that was a good. And I still heard that one. And I think we heard Collard Greens, right?
Yep, we heard all the big ones he had. He was milking Oxymoron that night.
Yeah, he was in an Oxymoron movie, and there's no issue with that.
Yeah, that's a good album. Not a problem. Yeah, not a problem at all.
That's a really good album. Kendrick was really good as well.
Especially since he had to do a lot of compensation for SZA not being there too. So
his set was longer than normal because he had the makeup time, which is fine. I have no issue with that at all. He handled his business. He didn't mess up once. It was a really great concert.
I like that he started off with DNA too. He just we're waiting for the actual the set to change on stage. And no one even saw it. The song just started. And I was like, oh, well, damn, I guess we're here now. But yeah,
I got loyalty.
Yeah, he started with DNA. It was excellent. I thought he was a good way.
Started with DNA, ended with Humble. And I was like, all right.
Figured as much, right?
Yeah. I knew it was going to be the last song because it's his biggest song out right now. That's what they usually do. Mm-hmm. Your biggest song is what they usually end with. Yeah. Whether it's old or new. So I thought that was pretty good. So, see them in concert. Support the artist. It was worth it in my opinion, and I think it'll be even more worth it when SZA comes back.
Absolutely. If you can get the whole TDE group there, then you'd be better off too. Cause
you don't need Zakari. but you need to. I wanted to.
I mean, you never know. They might end up being big in the future. So I'm like, if you want, if you're gonna say support, you gotta support everybody, okay?
Okay.
She ain't too convinced about that one, guys. But whatever.
All right, but let's get into Ye. So my favorite song on this album, since we're not gonna do top 3 because it's really short and we'll be naming half the album at that point. My favorite song on the album is Yikes.
Mine too. I may as well say it now.
One, Yikes has good punchlines. I love the beat. I love the chorus. It's a hype song. And I thought he had a really good flow. He was cocky. But it wasn't like, like, okay, yo, chill. It was just typical Kanye. And is Ye like his... Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't get my grade, did I? You just skip that part. Okay, I'll go back to it, but Yikes is my favorite song. But overall, I'm going to give this album... I'm going to give it a B. And here's why. It's too short for me. I feel like I'm missing out on something. Because, here's the thing. The last 3 songs for me weren't really that great. But I feel like if he had like 3 more songs, I could still give this album a higher grade than I gave it. And they were on the quality of the first half, because I think the first half is good. Despite some questionable things in there. But yeah, definitely giving it a B. For Kanye, he can do better. To me, his best album is still, Late Registration. No one could tell me any different. He hasn't topped Late Registration yet. Actually, to be honest, Late Registration, Graduation, and College Dropout.
Yeah, the trifecta, yep.
Yep. Best ones. Even though I'm one of the few people who liked 808 Kanye and Beautiful, Twisted, Dark Fantasy Kanye. But Pablo was okay. But I definitely think that this album could have been better had it had just 3 more songs. I would have been fine. 10 is fine. What do you think? What's your grade?
I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B too, only because like the last half of the album seemed like I don't know if this is for all the album before in the podcast.
The last 3, right?
Yeah, they seemed like different songs from the rest of the album from the first half, which is like a solid first half, by the way. And I heard and I was like, normally it's like a quality over quantity thing, because we have given higher grades to albums with like a similar amount of songs, but this one is like we wanted more Ye and less of whatever was going on. And like the last bunch, like don't get me wrong, his samples throughout the entire album, excelente.
Great production.
Because it's Kanye. I mean, one thing this guy has mastered is the art of sampling. But I don't know why Shanique is trying to knock over the Jenga tower over here.
Yo, he put me on blast.
But yeah,
why you put me on blast?
Because I'm sitting right next to the tower, it's gonna fall on me. Anyways, don't worry about why we got a whole built-up Jenga tower over here. But
we had a little power outage.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a B album. But to be honest, like right now, like I'd probably be going through it again because like the song that had more singing than Kanye in it, I think that's kind of where I started to do some falling off. But my thing is the songs actually came off pretty well though. Nothing mind blowing there. Even for like even by Kanye standards, but like it still came out really good. Some of them actually ended up being catchy to me. We'll get to that in a bit. Even though like they were more slower paced songs. And Yikes, like Shanique was talking about, probably the most hyped song on the album. Maybe outside of maybe the first song on it, but
or All Mine. All Mine was pretty
All Mine as well, right? But like granted, you only had 7 songs here, so you only had like slipping pickings when it comes to like the hype Kanye songs you're normally used to from like Yeezus or whatever you want to look at. But yeah, and like I said before too, Yikes is also my favorite song.
You can go into it.
It ended a little weird. Talking about him and his superpowers.
Hey, look.
Screaming into the mic.
Is his superpower. And it's funny because he says, I hate being... His album cover is like a scenery. And it says, I hate being bipolar. Then, okay. Then under it's like, it's awesome. So, it's like, he's embracing his mental illness. Maybe not in the most healthiest way.
In the Kanye way.
In the Kanye way. But he's not denying it. He's saying it is what it is. He said, whether I'm on or off my meds, you gonna love me. Mm-hmm. He's very confident about himself, and it's okay. It's Kanye. You can't explain him anymore.
Yeah, Kanye is just Kanye. He's not really meant to be defined by anything.
Yeah, and the way he talked about Ye, and it's funny, it's weird that the album's called Ye, because it's like he has an alter ego, because that's what he calls it. Mm-hmm. Like, I forgot which song, but he's like, he talks about Ye as in like his alternate ego and not who he is. And it's kind of weird. Like the first 4 songs are like Ye, and then the last 3 are like Kanye, like on meds. But yeah,
that actually might be what the album seems so split too. So
yeah, it seemed like all right, he took his meds, so now he calm down.
I ain't gonna say all that, but okay.
Hey, I'm being shady. He's being shady on his towards himself on the album, so I'm just listening to him.
Sure.
But yeah, Yikes, best song on the album in my opinion, and Michael's.
I think it's probably also the best marketable one if you want to put anything on radio. Because that very first one, you probably can't put that on the radio, consider how dark it starts off. But
you could literally put Yikes, All Mine, and Wouldn't Leave on the radio, actually.
Yeah, I see it actually being number 1 to be on the radio.
Yeah.
Most marketable, at least.
Yeah, for the hypeness, because that's what a lot of people care about. Just for the hypeness
Yep.
alone. But I meant for a complete song, those 3 would work.
That first definition is really what I'm going by, because that's really what radio stations go for anyway. Like, especially hip hop stations.
Some songs don't be hot. Some songs don't be hype. It's just the artist, they'll put it on there.
I agree.
Some of that Drake shit, no. That shit don't be hype. It just be a lot of singing. But, yeah. So the first one, I Thought About Killing You. I don't know who he's talking to. Is it his fans? I hope it's not any of his family members. I don't know who the fuck he's talking to. But the intro is funny as fuck to me for some reason. Weird, funny, and dark as hell. And he's like, I love myself way more than I love you. But I've thought about killing myself. So you know I thought about killing you. And I'm like, bro, who are you talking to? He only raps the last half of the song, so that's why that song kind of gets downgraded, because he spends the first half just talking about, like, over 2 minutes of just talking about weirdness, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel, but when the beat comes in, it's really good. I'm like, yo, this could have been a better song had you cut your rant to down, like, 1 minute, instead of 2 minutes and 25 seconds.
Right, you made a whole track song out of just a monologue.
Yeah, I just wish his rap part was the most of the song. Otherwise, I actually thought it was okay. It was a weird way to open, but it definitely tells you what type of album this is. What do you think of I Thought About Killing You?
I thought Kanye, you brought it up actually, that Kanye took a little page out of Triple X Tentacion's book, and got like really weird and dark and talk about thought about killing you and himself, and he said the same thing over and over again in different ways. It's a little weird, but one thing I will give him though, the song itself, when that kicks in. But there's also 2 beats it works with as well. Excellent. Like, I thought that he had the typical Kanye punchlines, typical Kanye bars, but typical Kanye is great hip-hop. So that's completely fine by me. So when that ended up happening, I was like, all right, I kind of wish there was, like, 5 times more of this right here. But, what can we do? It's Kanye.
Yeah, the album's already out. Next one, we talked about Yikes, so next one is All Mine. It had this weird falsetto on the chorus, which at first I was like, what the fuck is this shit? But I actually ended up liking it. Surprisingly, like, I actually did like it. He mentioned Stormy Daniels, so he low-key took a shot at Trump.
Which is weird, because, no, I'm just saying it's weird, because, like, he apparently, like, he doesn't necessarily support Trump, but he's like,
he likes the craziness of Trump. He doesn't actually like his politics.
I know, that's what I was trying to get to.
No,
okay.
I was just agreeing with you.
All right, gotcha.
Calm down. All right. He had good punchlines. He said some weird off the wall shit. Like, here's 2 lines I had to write down because it was so crazy. He said, "Let me hit it raw. Fuck the outcome. Irresponsible. People, you are not Kanye unless you have Kanye money. And even if you have Kanye money, you shouldn't be doing that." Then he said something, he said, "None of us would have got here without Come." And I'm like, you actually said that on your record. And I was just like, okay, Kanye, it makes sense, but it's just so out there to put on your record. And it came out of nowhere. But the chorus, it's part of verses. And I thought the verses had really good punchlines. I mean, listen to what he's saying. You're like, okay, I understand. I don't like the way you're saying certain things, but I get it. And then the chorus, it was annoying to me at first. And then I ended up loving it. So yeah, All Mine. Solid track. Weird lyrics. Can't co-sign all the lyrics. But solid. What do you think of All Mine?
The high pitchness at the beginning was a little annoying, to be honest. Wasn't really on board with it, but I've heard that in a couple other songs now, so I guess that might be the new wave. And the song is actually like slow paced enough for you to like pick up on all the weird sus ass lines that Shaniqua just found I'm talking about. Because those weren't the only two, but those like the two most notable, if anything. But like this is crazy because the song actually ended up being really good, and I think all power just went out again.
Keep going.
But yeah, the song actually just ended up being really good anyways, because I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of dope here. What's going on? Because it sounded like, and like I said before, typical Kanye. He went back into that mode where like his flow and his creativity behind his lines all just sounded real good. So yeah.
All right, next one is "Wouldn't Leave." It's kind of weird doing this in dark. But "Wouldn't Leave" I thought was actually oddly a sweet song.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically, he talks about appreciating his wife for like being there for him through his craziness. He's like, this was better for worse, and she's actually there. And he talks about respecting women more and not seeing them as conquests. And I'm like, okay, I could deal with this version of Ye. Like, I have no problem with this version of Ye. He's actually talking about real shit. This is I would say the first song on this album where he actually talks about some deep stuff. What else? And I actually grew to love it, and I love the R&B chorus. Heavily sampled, so that's why there's no feature, but yeah. What about you? What do you think of "Wouldn't Leave"?
I've got a similar review to Shanique's here, mostly because like it ended up being one of those things where like a lot of times in hip hop you don't really hear too many things about guys really. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like they don't exist. This exists in the vast minority. Guys really like appreciating like what a girl can do for them, keeping them straight, keeping their head on their shoulders, and looking out for them. As far as that goes, excellent inclusion onto the album.
Yeah,
especially just to make us remember that he is saying deep down, but yeah. I think it takes like a strong woman to bring it out of him. I don't know about Kim on any layer below what I see of her on TV, but hopefully what we are hearing about her on his song anyway is what's actually going on with them. So
yeah, like when he went to the mental institution, she was there every day. Like she's through all his crazy, she stands with him. So I believe that she's a ride or die for him, and that's really good. Because to be honest, I think it would take a strong woman to deal with Kanye. Like, ignore all background noises. He's laughing, but ignore it. All right. So next up, "No Mistakes."
Mm-hmm.
Good sample. The lyrics I thought was solid. I thought it was a decent song, but too much going on here that I couldn't appreciate it. What do you think of "No Mistake"?
No Mistake was just one of those things where it's like I thought it was like an excellent sample, but like there was like less Kanye into this song and a lot more singing, which I was pretty okay with, because to be honest I thought it was going to build up into Kanye coming into the album, and that never ended up happening. But it was okay though, because I ended up actually liking what I was hearing. I ain't love it, but I do like it.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, "Ghost Town." That's a sad song. Like, "Ghost Town" to me is just fucking depressing. And oddly enough, this is the song to me had the most singing in it.
It is.
He was barely in this song, and it gave me an 808 vibe. He was actually in it. I think he was just auto-tuned, but it gave me an 808 vibe. To me, this song didn't belong on this album. Even after "No Mistakes," I wouldn't put "Ghost Town" on this album. It's not a bad song, but it just belongs on a different album. To me, at least. But overall, I did like it. I just wish I wish he rapped more on it.
Or at all.
Yeah. He rapped a little bit, and then most of it was like auto-tune, 808 sounding Kanye. And I know how people are to fight, like, very, like, you like it or you don't. Mm-hmm. That's an album that there's, like, no gray.
Yep.
And yeah. Depressing ass song, sad ass song, decent lyrics, but I wish he would have rapped. What about you? What do you think of Ghost Town?
This is the song I was talking about where, like, for some reason, it just, like, weirdly enough resonated with me, and I ended up liking it. I was like, okay, I'm kind of on board with this. I do agree with Shanique. It's a little awkwardly placed. Not sure if this is the album for it, because 808 does seem a little more appropriate considering what the kind of sound 808 was going for. But being right here, I guess it's like a deeper look into Ye's mind. Sure, maybe somewhere in Ye's mind, the Ghost Town relates to something else that maybe I can't interpret right now. But I thought it was good. I thought the sampling was good. I thought the singing was also good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Next and final song, Violent Crimes. Violent Crimes was like, man, this is another album, another song where he talks about respecting women. And he does a little Nicki Minaj metaphor in there. Mm-hmm. And this song is basically about, you know, how having a daughter made him change his perspective on things. Mm-hmm. And his wife and all this stuff. And he talks about how his family impacted his life. And I do like that. Weird title to mention that in. But overall, when you listen to the lyrics, it's about basically saying that guys are assholes, blah, blah, blah. And then they have a daughter. And hopefully you start to become a better person. Because it's not universal. Some people still have a daughter and not like assholes anyway. But he's saying, you know, had a daughter, changed my perspective, kind of, you know, respect women even more and all this stuff. So, yeah. I definitely like the meaning of the song. And I like that he raps on it.
Right. Am I up?
Yep.
Okay, well, I thought the song was pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting closer. I did end up liking it. He does rap on this one instead of it being all singing, which was a good little change of pace from the last two songs. And everything Nick said was pretty much true about it. Like, the context of the song was a little interesting versus the actual irony of the song's name. But I thought it was dope. I think he did spend like a little bit more of an intro on the singing part though than he was with the rap. But his bars work. They did come true. Like, I've never seen Kanye in recent history like have a bad part of a song that he was actually strongly involved in, where he used his own hip hop on it. If he skips out on it, and maybe he dips into the auto-tune type sound too much, maybe then I start falling off. But generally I don't. So I don't know. The song was good by me. It was alright.
Alright, so guys, this is the end of the album. It's really short. Closing remarks. In my opinion, it's worth a listen. I think you need to hear this album for yourself. You know, some people... This is also an album where I think you're either going to like it or you're not. I don't think there's a gray area. You either like the album or you don't. And for me, I like the album. Would I wanted more from him? Yeah. I think he needs more songs. I think this album... I read somewhere, like, his album's a good example of the benefits and the cons of a 7-song album. And so is Pusha T. Like, these 7 songs have to be really good. But then if they're really good, you're going to want more. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I think 7 is a little too short. 10 is, to me, the perfect amount. And if you do more, you got to come with it.
Right.
10 to 13, that's usually my range of, like, good, solid number of songs. But overall, I thought Kanye did fine on this. I wanted more. It's not as hype as you thought it would be. But to me, it was a solid album. Not the best, but solid.
That's really what my review is going to be too. Like, it's going to be something a little unexpected because people are going to expect, like, you know, a hype album like Yeezus was. Because Yeezus pretty much all the way through was like, you know,
Pablo was even hype,
hitting you hard, right? And you know, Pablo has his shots too. But I was just like, all right, you know, it's not really what I expected. The first 2 songs maybe might make you think of it if you can get past the dark monologue in the very beginning. But other than that, you know, he went for a different route. He tried a different range here, and I think it's working out for him too. I'd definitely check it out too, because maybe it might be not something you're expecting, but you might still enjoy it.
Yeah, so, I think at least one of these songs are worth a download. Mm-hmm. So, also, I did hear one thing. He made this album on the fly. Because his TMZ interview happened, and then he made this album. He scrapped his original album and made this one. Because I was like, I read online that his album features Nicki Minaj, and then she wasn't on this, and I was like, what the hell? So I would like to hear those other 7 songs. Just saying. I want to hear the Nicki and Kanye, because they haven't collaborated in a very long time. But who knows if we'll ever hear those records. It'll probably be squeezed on the next album. Who knows? But overall, let us know what you guys think on Twitter at EchoU Podcast. You can also find us on social media sites, including Facebook, iTunes, Twitter, YouTube at Echo Underground Podcast. And if you want to listen to us on like a phone or an iPad, you can download apps, any podcasting apps, all under Echo Underground Podcast. And we'll see you guys the next episode. Bye.
See ya.